Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, we're going to be making this super cute little card using this More Than Chocolate stamp set. So this is one of the sets that the second I saw it, I had to have it. As soon as I got my hands on the new catalog, I absolutely had to have it. And then I just haven't used it. So I was rummaging through my stamp sets that are over on my shelf, trying to figure out what I wanted to use for today, and I decided I wanted to try and make something with this one. So I absolutely love how this card turned out, if I must say so. Like, I am obsessed with it. So I really hope you guys enjoy today. And it's actually pretty easy to do. And it's one of those cards that you can just kind of make, and it's really relaxing as you make it. So I hope you guys enjoy this one just as much as I did. For the stamp set, like I said, we're going to be using the More Than Chocolate stamp set. Now, I did want to say something about when we get to the stamping. You have all of these images for the chocolates that can go inside your little box. I'm using quite a few different blocks. That's just one thing with a stamp set like this where you have a bunch of little images. You are going to need quite a few blocks. You can interchange them and you can use one block and just clean your stamps and use the same block as you go. You can use multiple blocks, but I did want to note that because you will see me doing that. You'll see me have 2 stamps mounted on each block, and there's going to be quite a few of them. So just as a heads up, there's tons of different ways to do this, but just so you know, because we have so many variations to choose from to put our little chocolates, you do need some more blocks, or there's going to be a lot of swapping. So I just wanted to note that, but this is a really great stamp set. I absolutely love it. Okay, for our ink, we're going to be using 4 ink pads today. We're going to be using Crumb Cake, Chocolate Chip, Basic Black, and Early Espresso. We're also going to be using the Layering Circles Framelits, which are my fave. And then for our paper, we have quite a bit of paper here today. So let's start off with our Whisper White pieces. So for Whisper White, we have this piece, which is cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. We then have this little strip here, which is 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. For this is Chocolate Chip. We have, let's start with the big piece. We have this piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Then we have this square piece here, which is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then our little strip here is 3 3/4 by 1 1/2 inches. We have this piece here from the Whole Lot of Lovely Designer Series paper set. And this is super cute. Both sides of this paper is adorable, but this polka dots, I just thought it went really, really well with this card. It gives a nice little background. So this one is cut at 5 inches by 3 3/4. And then we have a piece of powder pink cardstock, and this is cut at 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. When you do these longer type of card bases, I highly recommend scoring it, because if not, you get kind of the bumpies when you go to fold it in half. So there's a lot of paper and a lot of dimension here, so I will have all of the dimensions on my blog as usual. So if I went too fast and didn't follow that, you can check out the first link down below. That's always the link to my blog post, the coordinating blog post, which will have all of the dimensions and paper and supplies and everything that you need. So head over there if you need to get the information again. And other than that, let's get started. Okay, so to start, we're going to make our little chocolate box, because that's the center of this whole card. So I'm going to start off with Early Espresso, and then I have the circle already mounted up on a block here. And we're taking our square of Whisper White, and we're just going to stamp this. I think I'm actually going to grab my mouse pad to stamp this on, just to make sure I get a nice, crisp, clean image. You don't have to do this, but depending on the surface that you're stamping on, it might be a good idea just to make sure, like I said, that you get a nice, crisp image. Let me make sure I have everything in here for you guys to see. Okay. And then I'm just going to stamp this down in the middle, as close to the middle as possible. Make sure I let the paper and the ink have contact, and then just pull it up. Perfect. Okay, so that's actually all we're using early espresso for. You could use chocolate chip to do the outside ring. I just wanted a darker color to give it a little bit more contrast because we're using chocolate chip for our chocolates. How fitting. So that's kind of why I wanted to do that. But you can do whatever you want to change it up however you'd like. Don't need that anymore. And now I'm just going to take my crumb cake, chocolate chip, and basic black ink, and I'm going to open all of them up, and I'm going to set them all in front of me. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but I'm going to set them all up in front of me with my piece here, and I'm just going to start stamping. So the way that these stamps work, and I'll show you guys, there are stamps that have inner bits. Let me move that so I don't drop it. There are stamps that have the inner stamping to it. So like this stamp right here is this brown here, and then you have like the little paper that the chocolates come in. You have that stamp. So you have it for the rectangle, the circle, the square, and the triangle. So what I found is easiest for me to do to make these is I stamp the inside of the chocolate first, and then I stamp the outside. I just get a better image that way. I find I can line it up a lot easier. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm just going to kind of stamp. I'm not really going to think much about it. I'm just going to kind of go for it. I do like to stamp I like to finish one chocolate at a time. So I'll stamp the inside and then I'll stamp the outside. And you guys will see that, obviously. I just want to explain to you guys kind of the process that I'm doing, because it's really one of those things that's kind of relaxing. You can just go for it and just kind of do it. And it's one of those mindless things where you just kind of do it, and by the time you are thinking about it again, you're done. So I wanted to explain to you guys what I was doing in case I get too wrapped up in it that I don't stop to explain it again. So, and then so if you put your labels on your ink pads, the labels that come on the bottom, if you put your labels on there, I just set my ink pad so that the label is facing me, because you can see all of the, well, I don't know if you can see all of these, but all of the colors look very, very similar. So that's a little tip for you guys to make sure you don't use the wrong one. You can make sure the labels are facing you. Mine are upside down, and if you put them on so you can read it when it's closed, it'll be upside down, but you can get the gist of which color is which. So I'm just gonna start stamping. Like I said, I already have this one in my hand, so I might as well use it. So we're gonna use chocolate chip and stamp that. And then I'm going to flip it because I happen to have the outside. And I'm using basic black for all of the outsides, and then chocolate chip and crumb cake for, whoops. I'm using basic black for all of the outsides. And I might need to bring this a little closer to me, and you might see my head just to make sure I can line this up right. And that's a little off, but it's okay. If you stamped it off, you could take that same color and Stampin' Right markers and fill it in. I'm not gonna be too concerned about it. I'm just gonna keep stamping and see how it goes. So while I'm doing all of this, I figured I could take a second and talk to you guys about all of the fun and exciting stuff we have going on right now. So if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you may have missed some of the stuff that we have going on right now. If you do want to subscribe to my newsletter, you can just head over to littlemooncreation.com and fill out, you don't even have to fill anything out. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is a little box that says like subscribe or something, like, I can't remember what exactly it says, but it says something, and you just put your email address in there, and then you are subscribed to my newsletter, and you get all of the fun and exciting stuff that's going on in case I don't get around to making a video about it or something like that. So I wanted to, since this is going to take me a minute, I figured I'd talk to you guys about all the fun stuff going on. So the first thing is through the entire month of July, I am doing free online card classes. What? How free and exciting! I know. So the way that you get into one of the free card classes is simply spending $35 on my Stampin' Up website, littlemancreation.stampin'up.net. There's a hostess code, which I'll put on the screen here somewhere. Place your order of $35 or more, use that hostess code, and you'll get the free card kit sent to you in the mail right away. And then the video, you'll probably get the video before you get the actual materials to make them. Actually, you'll probably get the video before you get the materials, but they come in these fun gold bubble, well, this one comes in fun gold bubble mailers. You get everything. I'm super excited. I just sent out the first round of this week's class, and I'm just super excited about it. It's just a fun way to do something a little bit different, I feel like. And it's really to celebrate me being a demonstrator for 2 years now. Honestly, I didn't ever think that I would get this far. When I started Stampin' Up, I really thought I was going to just do it as a hobby for like a month or so. I figured, oh, you know, I probably won't get my quarterly minimum, so I'll just ride it out until then, and then I'll quit and I'll move on to something else. But here I am 2 years later, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'm a part of a fantastic team of demonstrators, and we just have a great time. Everybody is super friendly and super helpful, and that's really one of the main reasons why I love it, because of all of the awesome people that I've gotten to know and hang out with and talk to, and it's just awesome. So anyways, that's happening right now. I will make sure in the blog post, that the coordinating blog post for this video, like I said, it's the first link below. I'll make sure I link to the blog post talking all about what supplies you'll need. It is a little bit different than the card classes that I was doing before. You just get like the materials to make the cards, but you'll need the stamp set, the ink, and that kind of stuff. So I'll make sure I link to that below as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing that kind of, I didn't know that we were doing this until right before it launched, is we are doing bonus days again. So if you participated in bonus days last year and you loved it, it's back this year. And if you don't know what that is, essentially for the entire month of July, for every $50 you spend, you'll get a $5 coupon to spend in the month of August. So the best thing I know to relate it to is Kohl's Cash. Not everybody knows what that is, but essentially you spend X amount and you get a certain amount of money, and then you get to spend that in a month. So that's really fun. Like I said, that is going on the entire month of July as well. So make sure you head over and get your orders in to get those coupons. And it's an unlimited amount. So if you spend $100, you'll get $10. If you spend $500, you'll get $50. It's completely unlimited, and you'll get an email coupon that you can use to spend in August. So super, super awesome. It's a great fun time. I love, love, love bonus days. Last year was the first year that we actually did it, and it was a hit. So here we are again. And then the last thing, see, I told you I would be rambling because I just have a lot to tell you guys to make sure you don't miss out on anything. So the last thing is for anyone that's interested in becoming a demonstrator. I don't usually talk, or I try not to like talk too much about the business side of things, because most people are here to see some fun projects, and that's perfectly fine. That's why I do what I do. But for those of you that are interested or could potentially be interested in becoming a demonstrator, right now is a great time to join. We are actually having a Christmas in July sale. I call it a sale. It's not really a sale. We're doing a Christmas in July special that is actually a pretty sweet deal. So what you do is, what you'll get is, in addition to your starter kit, so for those of you that don't know, to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can purchase a starter kit. It's $99, and you get to pick $125 worth of product in your starter kit. So it's a really, really great deal to get a bunch of, actually I don't want to use that one. You'll get a bunch of product for a discount. So that's the first thing. So that's regardless of when you decide to become a demonstrator, that's our starter kit. You pay $99 and you get $125 worth of product, as well as like some business starter tools and that kind of stuff. But you'll get that regardless of whether you just want to be like a hobby demonstrator or a career demonstrator is what we call them. But for July only, we are doing Christmas in July. So on top of that, you're going to get some extra goodies. You will be getting a couple of D-size blocks, and D is our most popular versatile size. This is a D-size block. This is the size that comes in Paper Pumpkin. So you'll get 2 D-size blocks. Actually, you don't get 1, you get 2. You'll get the grid paper. So the grid paper that I usually stamp on, mine's over buried in a pile of junk because I need to clean my office. The grid paper that I stamp off on sometimes, you'll get that for free. I think you get paper snips, a snail adhesive, a bone folder, and then the most exciting thing that you'll get is our new Carols of Christmas stamp set. So it's a new stamp set that's going to be coming out with the new holiday catalog. You'll be getting that, but you'll be getting it completely free, and you'll be getting it before everybody else gets it. So it's actually a really, really great deal, and you get, like I said, you get all of that stuff absolutely free just with signing up with your starter kit. So it's a great deal. If anybody is interested, please, please, please let me know. To get information, there's no obligation, there's no anything. I can tell you all about it, tell you the pros and cons. I'm a pretty honest person, or I try to be a pretty honest person, so I'll tell you the truth about any questions you have, any reservations you may have. I'll be honest with you about it and tell you, and then you can take that opinion and do with it what you want. So that's all of the exciting stuff going on. Like I said, if you've subscribed to my newsletter, you probably already know all of that because I sent out a newsletter last week telling you all about it. Unless you didn't read the newsletter, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, see, I didn't know I was gonna be able to blab that whole time, but I did. Look at me go. So now we have all of our chocolates stamped in there. Let's get back to the project. So we have all of our little chocolates stamped in there. And again, I didn't do it perfectly, but really nobody's going to be able to tell, I promise. So now what we're going to do, let me move some of these blocks over. So I'm going to take one of our regular circle framelits. And again, this is from the Layering Circles framelit set. And I'm just going to take a little piece of washi tape as I usually do. And I'm just going to line this up and use some washi to stick it down so it doesn't move all over the place. Just make sure, yeah, that looks good. Then I'm also going to take our square of chocolate chip, and I'm going to use one of the scalloped circles and cut out a piece of our chocolate chip. So let's set these off to the side really fast and bring in the big shot. I gotta turn it the right way. Hopefully you guys can see all of that. I can't remember, I think it may have been my last video. One video, I was totally out of frame when I was doing the big shot stuff, and I didn't realize it until I was editing the video, and I was like, gosh darn it, I would do something silly like that. So hopefully you guys can see it this time. Actually, yeah, you should be good. Okay, so I'm going to sandwich them in there, crank it through. Now, I just cut these pieces down to the squares, the dimensions that I told you guys earlier, so you could get an idea of the size of paper that you would need for this. If you have a scrap that fits, use the scrap. You don't have to cut a piece of paper down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 just to cut out these shapes. Use what you have. I just like to give you guys some kind of idea as far as the size of a paper that you'll need to cut this out with. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our last little stamping piece, and then we'll completely put the card together and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna grab my chocolate chip ink one more time, and I'm gonna grab my sentiment, and this is a sentiment that says, chocolate makes everything better. I just love that sentiment because you can use it for so many different things. You could be using it just to send like a thinking of you card with like a box of chocolates, or like a get well card. You could use it for so many different things. I have friends that just love chocolate, so I could give this as just like a hey, hope you're having a great day, thinking about you type of card. I don't know why I cannot ink up. There we go. So this one, I liked this sentiment because you can use it for quite a few different things. I'm going to do my best to center this on this little piece of Whisper White here. Looks pretty nice. Okay, that's the last stamping we're going to do, and now we're just going to put everything together. So I'm going to take these two pieces here, the two that we just cut out. I'm going to flip over our chocolate box and take some dimensionals. And I'm going to use a 5 because you guys know I'm dimensional crazy. And let's take the backings off of these. That was my little song for taking dimensionals off. Oh, it's one of those days, I tell you. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this, center it up on our little piece of chocolate chip. And I just did that, one, to make it pop from the background piece, but two, it looks kind of like it's a little bit, it's like a chocolate box that has like some decoration around it or something. Just trying to make it a little more fancy. Then I'm going to grab my piece of Whisper White here that we just stamped on, and I'm just taking some regular snail adhesive here, and let's grab this strip here that we have of chocolate chip, and we're just going to center this from left to right. So these two pieces are exactly the same height, but they're a little bit, the Whisper White's a little bit thinner. So you can just butt the edges up and then center it this way. Super stinking cute. Now we can take these two pieces. So we have our largest piece of chocolate chip and then this piece of our designer series paper. And let's just put some adhesive on the back of this. And center it up here. Whoops. I get really quiet when I'm trying to concentrate and center a piece of paper. Then let's go ahead and I'm going to do this piece first. So flip her over, put some adhesive on the back of our chocolate chip piece. And then on the right hand side of this piece, we're going to just stick this down. And I'm leaving, I don't know, 1/4 inch on the, is that straight? No, not really. There we go. I'm leaving about 1/4 inch on the right-hand side, somewhere around there. And then just flip over our piece, our little chocolate box here. And I like to kind of rotate it and see which way I like it better. And then in this open space that we have here, I'm just gonna kind of center it up as best as possible in that open space. Flip the whole thing over. Put some more snail on the back. And then this is going to, we're gonna have our piece of paper going landscape. And I'm just going to stick this down just like so. Grab my bone folder and carefully fold in half our little card here. Like I said, if you score it before, it really, really, really does help make sure that you get a nice clean edge here. And other than that, that's the card for today, guys. So super, super easy. Like I said, the stamping, I really like this one because the stamping is just kind of mindless. You guys heard I rambled through the entire stamping process. It's just kind of mindless, and you can just crank out a bunch of these, I feel like, and just have at it. So I think it's a really, really fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed this for today's project. And as always, like I said, make sure you check out the first link in the description below. That'll be the coordinating blog post for this video. And in there, I'll have all of the information about my online card class, all of that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!